Hello everyone! In this Hearthstone Journey to Un'Goro card spotlight, I'm going to take a look at Spirit Echo. Spirit Echo is an epic Shaman class spell. It's a 3-mana spell that gives your minions a death rattle to return them back to your hand. First, it's notable that Spirit Echoes do not stack, because this returns the card back to your hand and doesn't return a copy back to your hand. So if you cast Spirit Echo twice on a single minion, it only comes back to your hand once. Overall, however, Spirit Echo is a huge value and resource generator for the Shaman class, which is otherwise a little bit struggling to find card draw. When you look at card draw in Shaman, the options are very slim. Basically you have Mana-Tide Totem. That's your card draw. There used to be Ancestral Knowledge as well, but it just rotated out into Wild, so Mana-Tide Totem is the only thing you have left. Other than that, there's a bunch of cantrips and discover mechanics, but none of them are particularly strong. So you have Farsight, which is used in some control Shaman decks. You use Farsight, then you use Ancestral Spirit. You try to get the big minion out for cheap, Ancestral Spirit it, so that it just comes back again if it's killed. Very powerful combination. But also a combination of several cards, which is pretty hard to really pull off when your card draw options are very limited. Then you have some options for discover. You have Finders Keepers, which is a spell that allows you to discover an Overlord card. And then you have Lotus Agents, which allows you to discover a card from 3 classes. But neither of these is particularly strong either. And after those, it's all down to neutral options. Of course, there's Acolyte of Pain. If you have a very token heavy build, you could go for a Cult Master. You trade away your tokens and then gain some cards. But still, slim pickings. Luckily at this point, Spirit Echo comes to the rescue. It's often possible for Shaman to build a board of 2, 3, 4 minions and Spirit Echo those, so you get effectively 3 or 4 cards back to your hand. What's really nice about Spirit Echo is that you're often able to set it up so that you get cards that are relevant for the particular matchup. So say you're facing an aggro deck. You want taunts, you want heals, stuff like Hot Spring Guardian. Pretty easy to set up for Spirit Echo. Say you're facing a Burn Mage or a Freeze Mage, then you want healing. You want to be able to out-heal them once they drop their Alexstrasza, once they try to burn you down. So cards like Genio Water Speaker, cards like Hot Spring Guardian, excellent targets for Spirit Echo in those matchups. If you're facing a control deck, you want to be able to generate more minions, more value. If you're playing Jade Shaman, for example, Spirit Echoing some Jade generators is immense in those kinds of matchups. If you're playing Elemental Shaman, some of those top-end elementals, or maybe even a Servant of Kalimos, really big effect. And against just about any deck, you often want Spirit Echo or Flametongue Totem. One of my favorite things to do with Spirit Echo is to set up the cards that I want to get Spirit Echoed and then slip in 1 Flametongue Totem into that. At 2 mana you're often able to slip in that Flametongue Totem, give that one Spirit Echo as well. Your trades are so much more effective, and also the opponent has to live with the knowledge that okay, once they kill that Flametongue Totem, it can just come back at any time. How greedy you can be with your Spirit Echo depends on what kind of board clear options your opponent has. It feels really bad when you're trying to set up that board and then it gets wiped just a turn before you play Spirit Echo. And also what kind of transformation effects your opponent has. Because Spirit Echo gives the minion a death rattle, so if it gets polymorphed or it gets hexed, you don't get that Spirit Echo value. Against the decks that run these types of effects, it's often better to Spirit Echo multiple medium-sized threats than try to go for a Spirit Echo on just that one big card, which the opponent is likely to use a heavy removal spell anyway, and then they get even more value if they get to hex that when you have Spirit Echoed it. Another thing to keep in mind when playing with Spirit Echo is your hand size. So you need to plan accordingly. Maybe you want to sometimes trade away some of the minions on the board before you play Spirit Echo. Maybe sometimes you want to play minions on the board after you have already played the Spirit Echo, just so you get the cards that you want back into your hand. And one particularly nice play also is to play Spirit Echo, trade away a minion, and then replay it immediately. That can also sometimes be very nice. So you can find a spot for Spirit Echo in just about any a little bit slower Shaman deck. Let's for example say you're playing Jade Shaman. You have some great targets for Spirit Echo there. Practically all the Jade generators, of course the best one being Aya. Aya is such an immense value with Spirit Echo. But let's say you have a board of a Jade Spirit, a Flame Tongue Totem and a Genie Water Speaker. That's also very high value with Spirit Echo, and that's also a board that the opponent doesn't really want to use a Hex or Polymorph on. So often you're able to actually gain more value by Spirit Echoing multiple medium-sized targets than going for that one big one. But if you know that the opponent is unable to deal with that if you go for the big one, of course, going for that big payoff can be really good. Spirit Echo is also surprisingly good with the Jade Golems themselves. Even though Jade Golems are just vanilla stats, but especially in the mid game, say you're in the range of 4 mana 4/4 and 6 mana 6/6. Those are some awesome Jade Golems to Spirit Echo. You get the generator back, and you get a vanilla minion, relatively powerful vanilla minion that you can fit into your turn without it taking your whole turn. When it comes to Control Shaman, it has been interesting to see that lately Spirit Echo has actually been contesting the Farsight plus Ancestral Spirit package. So some Control Shaman players have actually chosen to ditch this package and go with Spirit Echo instead. There are some benefits to be had with this approach. Well, Ancestral Spirit does have the benefit that it brings the minion back to the board immediately. But in Control Shaman decks you're often playing cards such as the Stonehill Defender or Genie Water Speaker. You're playing Battlecry effects. And with Spirit Echo you get to use that Battlecry effect again. So there are still advantages to using Spirit Echo, even though the effect of Ancestral Spirit is really good as well. Of the slower Shaman decks, it's actually Elemental Shaman that has the most difficult time finding a spot for Spirit Echo. This is a little bit ironic because Elemental Shaman is full of Battlecry minions, so you'd think Spirit Echo is great because you can use all those Battlecries again. But Elemental Shaman resembles the Dragon Priest of old in many ways. It plays mostly on curve. It doesn't have that much of a card draw demands either. And finally, it also has access to one of the premium resource generators in the game, Servant of Kalimos, which allows you to discover another elemental. So you're playing on curve, you drop your Servant of Kalimos, you get more cards that you can play on curve from that. A bit more difficult to find spot for Spirit Echo. The little card draw needs of the deck can often be satisfied by adding in a Manatide Totem, maybe a Blood Mage Talnos, maybe a Harrison Jones. But I don't think Spirit Echo has been fully explored in Elemental Shaman yet. Because of all those battle cries, there's just so much potential synergy that Spirit Echo might well be able to slip into that deck as well. Overall, Spirit Echo is a powerful and fun addition to the Shaman class. It takes a lot of thought to use it properly, but once you get some really good echoes of it, it also feels really satisfying and can really improve the power level of your deck. So I expect to see a lot of Spirit Echo in the near future. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more.